Usman, what a legend, man. Even though people were starting to count him out, he proved once again that he's still got it. He went up against Joaquin Buckley, who's been on a serious rise in the welterweight division. Young, explosive, undefeated at 170. But Usman, he didn't just fight Buckley, he dominated those first 2 rounds, and that alone tells you this man isn't finished yet. Sure, the fight got tighter in the later rounds, and props to Buckley for that, especially in the 5th where he defended a ton of takedowns and kept swinging with those wild, powerful combos, even if most of them were missing like crazy. It's just how Buckley fights. He's not precise, but he overwhelms you with speed and chaos. That can work against a slower opponent like Usman, who's not exactly in his prime anymore. But let's not get it twisted, even a version of Usman that's not 100% still showed levels in there. If we're talking prime Usman, Buckley wouldn't have stood a chance. He'd have been absolutely smoked. I mean, Buckley had no real takedown defense for like 4 whole rounds. None. One of the cleanest takedowns Usman landed in the fight. Man, it was wild to see. He shot for a double leg from distance. When was the last time we saw Usman do that? Usually he grabs the legs, walks you down, pins you to the fence, and then drags you down from there using pure upper body strength. That's his thing, and honestly, a lot of that has to do with his knees. Yeah, he doesn't like it when people talk about his knees, but come on. You can clearly see it affects the way he shoots. He doesn't explode into takedowns like other wrestlers anymore. Even this one wasn't really a shot. It was more like him launching forward and falling into Buckley's legs. But here's what was crazy. Once he had the grip, he didn't stop. He launched again while already on his knees and literally carried Buckley with him. That's 2 explosions back to back. You don't see takedowns like that often. That grip strength and timing, still elite. Now, there was another moment where Usman went for a single leg just as Buckley switched stances mid-movement. It threw off the angle, but Usman adjusted. Meanwhile, Buckley's defense was straight up amateur. He started throwing punches while he was standing on one leg in the middle of the octagon, no fence behind him, nothing to use to stand up. Like, bro, what are you doing? You gotta stop the takedown first, not start swinging while you're balancing on one leg. So Usman just ran the pipe, took both legs, got top control, easy. Another takedown, Usman goes for the legs double leg, fence pressure, and Buckley tries to use a wide stance to defend. But Usman just switches things up again, lifts Buckley's right leg, shifts the angle, and slams him down toward his left. Now let's talk striking. Buckley, man, he was literally swinging at air half the time. Up until round 4, his striking accuracy was only 25%. That's awful, especially against someone like Usman, who, let's be honest, isn't exactly a defensive wizard on the feet. Buckley just doesn't have clean setups or timing. His combos are pure chaos, just throwing heavy shots, hoping something lands through brute force. And they do land sometimes, no doubt. He carries his power deep into fights and keeps his volume up from round 1 to 5, which is impressive. But his punches are so loaded with power that they become easy to see and defend. No feints, no setups, just pure swings. That's why top-tier fighters will always read him like a book. And guess what? Even Usman, who's clearly lost a step in terms of speed and reflexes, was able to dodge or block most of it. At one point, Buckley blocks a round kick from Usman and then, this is the funny part, tries to throw a right hook from that distance. Like, bro, you're not even close. You can't land a hook from that far unless you jump into it. It missed by like a whole foot. It happened not once, but twice. The 3rd time though, props where it's due, Buckley adjusted. Usman went for the body kick again, and this time Buckley was in better range. He threw a jab, then a left strike, classic Leon Edwards combo, and then tried to surprise Usman with a high kick. Usman read it, blocked it with his right hand, used his left to push the leg off, clean defense. He learned from that Leon fight, no question. But Buckley didn't stop with just kicks. He kept chasing that left straight, tried slipping to the outside, swiping Usman's lead hands, and then firing. Problem was, he kept missing. Like every single step of the combo had a tell. Elbows flared, big wind-up, super obvious movement. Usman ducked, blocked, slipped almost every punch. You could see what Buckley was trying to do. Take the outside angle, step around the lead foot and fire that clean left down the middle, but it just kept falling short. Even when he landed, it wasn't clean, and Usman kept mixing in takedown feints that would send Buckley into a frenzy, throwing wild combos with his eyes literally looking down at the ground. Imagine swinging with all your might and not even looking at your target. That's how frantic Buckley looked in those moments. Then Usman just faded away. High fight IQ stuff. There's one combo in particular where Buckley throws a jab, steps forward, switches stance mid-combo, and then loads up a giant right uppercut. And Usman's already halfway out of the way. It grazes at best. Then Buckley swings a big left hook hits the arm, swings a right hook, hits the other arm, literally shadowboxing Usman's forearms. Bro, Usman's arms probably took more damage than his face. And again, flare, load, miss, over and over. At one point, Buckley gets into a taekwondo-style bladed stance, bouncing around, trying to confuse Usman. He fakes looking one way, hides his right hand, and then goes for a sneak right straight. And honestly, this one was better. No big elbow flare, tighter form, it almost lands. But Usman just keeps his left hand out, creates distance, and avoids it. You could tell Buckley was trying to adjust, but even when he improved, it wasn't enough. His left hook, still super telegraphed. Usman saw it from a mile away and angled off easily. Then there's a rare moment where Buckley actually does something clever. He fakes a jab, ducks under Usman straight, comes up with a left hook, then grabs the tie clinch, goes for a knee while Usman throws an uppercut, both miss, total chaos. And then, still in the clinch, Buckley throws a right hook. Finally, something lands clean on Usman. That chaos is where Buckley shines. Even if he's missing most of the time, eventually one of those crazy combos will break through. Right after Buckley landed that clean right hook, you could tell Usman felt it. Not rocked, but definitely caught. And Buckley, being Buckley, didn't hold back. He charged forward with another combo, left straight as a feint, then boom, a big right uppercut. That uppercut was one of his go-to weapons in the fight. Usman had a habit of ducking defensively, and Buckley figured it out. He'd bait with the left, then sneak in that uppercut. It worked a few times and definitely made Usman cautious, but Usman, he adjusted. That's his thing. Maybe not faster, maybe not younger, but always smarter. At one point, Buckley winds up a huge left and walks straight into a stiff jab. Classic Usman. Then Buckley's left straight flies harmlessly overhead as Usman ducks and angles away. They even clashed heads, accidental but brutal. Getting cracked by Usman's head, that's like taking a bowling ball to the face. Still, Buckley didn't stop. He went to the body with hooks, faked a takedown level change, got Usman to bite, then launched a massive uppercut that barely missed, followed by a big left hook that finally landed clean behind the ear. One of his best punches all night, but Usman still calm, no panic, no stumble, just reset. Then came another Buckley blitz, elbow flared, uppercut missed by a mile. But the wild haymaker that followed, that one landed on the jaw, and again Usman just ate it. Didn't even flinch. That chin, still solid. But here's the crazy part. Buckley didn't land a single significant strike in the first round. Not one. Despite all the wild swings, Usman shut him out early. Still, Buckley remained dangerous. That uppercut, especially when Usman dipped his head, was his best shot all night, and the crowd felt it every time it landed. But his best combo of the fight? That came in round 3. Buckley came in aggressive, faked the left, switched stance mid-combo, slipped under Usman's left hook, and countered with a left hook and a right. They didn't land clean, but it rattled Usman. As Usman tried to reset, Buckley lunged in again. Left hook blocked, but the right hook over the shoulder landed hard. Boom! Best shot of the fight. You could see Usman's head snapped from the impact. Usman fired back, but Buckley blocked it. That whole exchange showed what Buckley could do when he stayed tight instead of swinging wildly. He had Usman reacting and missing, started using feints, baited jabs, ducked under and fired to the body. Then came another blitz, uppercuts, hooks, pressure from every angle. Nothing major landed, but the tempo was throwing Usman off. Buckley even bumped Usman's leg and knocked him slightly off balance. Not a knockdown, but a clear momentum shift, and let's be real, Usman isn't the same. He's older, slower, and those knees have taken a beating. Against someone like Buckley, who's constantly moving and attacking from wild angles, it's tough to keep up. Buckley even threw a strong side kick to the leg that visibly shook Usman's knee, but strangely, he never went back to it. Maybe he was worried about getting wrestled. Either way, it was a missed opportunity. Now, about Usman's striking. It's clearly faded. The jab, the straight, the front kick, they worked, but they lacked the volume and sharpness he used to have. What hasn't faded though is his wrestling. That's still elite. When Usman got Buckley down, he made it count. Controlled half guard, dropped shots, moved into mount, classic top pressure. Still dangerous. That's what sets him apart. And honestly, out of all the veterans in this division, Usman is the only one who's beaten the new generation. Everyone else got passed up. Usman held the line. And I'll say it, a prime Usman, he'd have crushed Buckley. Even the pre-title Usman might have done it. Maybe even Gilbert Burns in his best form. That whole wave, Usman, Burns, Colby, They've been underrated lately just because of Usman's 2 losses to Leon. People were quick to dismiss them, but like I said in my prediction, never count Usman out. This is the same guy who took a short-notice fight against Khamzat Chimaev up a weight class and held his own. And now, after a 2-year break and 3 losses, he beats an undefeated rising star? That's legendary. He might not be everyone's favorite, but come on, he's the 2nd greatest welterweight of all time, and this win proves he's still in the mix. Now about Buckley, some people are saying he's overrated, maybe a bit, but he's still dangerous, still a top contender, but no way you can put him above Leon. Leon's 4, Usman's 5, and Usman just beat Buckley. As for what's next, Usman could be 1 win away from another title shot if he beats someone like JDM or Islam. That could be it. And crazy enough, Usman said he wants to fight Islam next and then move up to middleweight to fight Dricus Du Plessis. Wild. Beat Islam, vacate the welterweight belt and go challenge for the middleweight crown? Big dreams, man. But the perfect fight right now? Usman versus Bilal Muhammad. Run it back, they've had tension, even clashed on Usman's podcast. Settle it in the cage, winner gets the title shot. Simple. Of course, the division's packed. Sean Brady's 1 win away. Shavkat 2. That'd be a sick matchup. Shavkat versus Brady. And for Buckley, a fight with Michael Morales would make sense. Or the long hype matchup with Ian Gary. That'd be a war. That's the full breakdown. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell. We've got plenty more coming.